Hey Darwin, let's go, come on. This right here is one of my favorite spots on our property. It's kind of wooded, but we've cleaned it out so you can spend time in here. And I was thinking this would be a nice place to do my test and to do some cooking. But the one thing that I do need is sun right next to it. This place, Darwin, get away. This place in the woods right here is pretty perfect except for one thing. There are some ants. Some of you may remember this guy right here. This is a 300-watt cooker, kind of like an electric lunchbox meant to heat up food or cook rice in. Been getting a lot of comments on that video, and one person asked, can you cook chicken in it? And I was thinking, well, that's something I've never done. I've never actually cooked meat in it. I mean, I cooked eggs and vegetables and biscuits and stuff like that, but I've never actually cooked chicken. So I was thinking, yeah, I'd like to try that. I have a piece of chicken. So lately I've been getting into kind of solar and batteries a lot. Like in the past, I've kind of played with it a little bit too, but not to this extent, because lately I've been actually putting up, you know, like real solar panels, not just flexible ones, like portable ones, but ones on the roof. And, you know, thinking about where could we put them, and like how feasible is it really to use the sun for charging up your home, and just kind of also realizing that what I thought was going to work in terms of the solar panels on our house or on the wall, which was a test, is not going to work at all, because the sun, the angle of the sun in the summer is so different that we're getting no sun coming into the solar panels right now. There's a couple of other ideas that I've got going that I'm thinking about would be a much better option. We recently got the electric car, the EV, Nissan, and that has been the most fun thing in like so long. I don't remember having so much fun with a car, because it's like, it's not really a car. It feels like a completely different thing. It's like a toy. The fact that you can charge it up and you're not using any gas. I just love it. It's the best. But you realize as you're recharging it up, just how much electricity you are going through charging it up. Of course, we've been on a bit of a driving kick lately, just because it's been so much fun, you know, and all you want to do is drive. I'm not saying that everybody needs to do this. I'm just kind of finding it interesting to see how much solar are you using. Like, can you be more independent from the grid and all of those things? And with that, I think, you know, using things like this is really a nice concept. Okay, so this little cooker right here, got this as kind of an impulse buy. The thing that I really like about this is how you're never running out of propane. You know, it's not like you're going out cooking, and it's so safe. So you can take it places, you can cook inside with it. You don't have to be concerned about, you know, having a flame going or propane coming out. So it's super safe. The one thing about this whole thing is it's a very gentle kind of heating, so you're not going to get any browning. Put a generous amount of my seasoning. These chopsticks I made in oak. Okay, so we have chicken, tomato, onion, oil, and spices. It's kind of like a stew is what I'm thinking. I'm going to add a little water to. A little water in there. Basically do 1 cup of the rice. Well, it's not actually, this is a half a cup measurement, so half a cup of rice. And then a little over half a cup of water. I'm gonna fill it up. Now this is going to basically steam this on here. Need to power this thing, right? So this is this little new Bluetti. So this is the Bluetti EB3A, just released. So there's link and more info in the description. It's so light, it's only 268 watt hours. But the thing is, it has an inverter that can handle 600 watts. So currently it's at 100% charge. Let's start with 20 minutes, because that's usually how long it takes to cook the rice. It's 98%. We are drawing 328 watts. Now this cooker is actually supposed to be a 300 watt cooker, but it is drawing a little more than that. Darwin is looking at ants. 97%. 268 watt hours full power here. This draws yeah, a little like what did we say, 3:30. Of course, hopefully I'm not going to use this for an hour, but if we were to use this for an hour, we would run out of power, right? But this guy actually can do pass-through charging, which means that we can charge it up as we're using it. So we're currently getting 101 watts coming in from a 200 watt hour panel, which I guess is okay. So this right here is definitely the smaller solar generator that I have tried. It has the usual kind of light. I think the screen is quite nice. It's definitely nice how you can see exactly the percentage, how much is coming in, how much is going out. I don't want to really open this up because if I do, all the steam goes away. Okay, so here is the app. So you can see it's showing exactly how much is going in, how much is going out. This guy is supposed to be able to accept up to 200 watt of solar. Now, I have not actually been able to get it to go up to 200 watt. Maybe the conditions haven't been just right or whatever. So you can charge this guy up in the wall with solar, but of course solar is a lot more fun, and you're so much more independent when you have the solar with you. Okay, Darwin, I'm gonna go get some more water. You stay here and guard everything, okay? He's not the best guard dog. Come on, go to bed. Oh, it's like I can smell the chicken. In the past, when I have cooked stuff, it depends on like how long something takes. I remember when I cooked pasta, it took like half an hour. Like hard pasta cooking in tomato sauce, that took half an hour. But most things usually take like 15 to 20 minutes. I'm kind of thinking this chicken might take, you know, half an hour too, we'll see. And the thing about that is that you just want to make sure you refill, you know, the water. You don't want it to run dry or else you can damage the unit. But isn't this the life right here? Charging, you know, energy up with solar, having a little unit that powers your electric cooker. Oh, well, 2 minutes left here. There's certainly something to be said for a small unit like this that is this light, because the larger ones can be really cool and you can utilize for different things. But this is really practical. The fact that you can, you know, take it with you and it's not a big deal. Very light. It's the lightest one by far. It is, what, like 10 pounds, 4.6 kilos, I think, something like that. So it's kind of like a big newborn baby, right? The EV. Okay, that's 20 minutes. Looks like a tomatoey. Oh yeah, it's raw. So like 124. Let's try another 10 minutes. So it looks like we're holding pretty steady at 107 watts in terms of solar. And this guy is using 300 watts, 305 watts pretty steadily too. So even though, I mean, this only has 268 watts, if you do the solar at the same time, you do pass-through charging, I mean, that's kind of cool because you're not gonna deplete it nearly as fast. But I love this little guy. But the cool thing is that it's using so little power. I mean, if you have a guy like that, you can think, okay, could I use an induction cooktop, for example? Well, induction cooktops use a lot of power. Surprisingly a lot of power, and you probably could use it maybe on the lowest setting. Spoiler alert, I actually did that test. Used this to power an induction cooktop and it worked. I boiled water. It just took a little while. Is it nice and cool there for you? Yeah, you're smelling that chicken, aren't you? 55%, and we're coming up and I've used this for half an hour. So if this uses 300 watts an hour, and if we used it for half an hour, that's coming up on 150 watt hours. This total capacity is 268, so 55%, yeah. I mean, of course, there's also some loss with the inverter you have to take into account. You're not going to get the full 268 watt hour. So this is a LiPo4 battery, so lithium iron phosphate. And first I was thinking, why, like, they did not do a lithium ion battery, which is lighter. But I can definitely see I mean, LiPo4 batteries are really cool because you have so much more flexibility in terms of charging. You get so many more charges from it, so this is going to last you a lot longer. And considering it's light enough as it is, it's not that heavy. But of course, this is what's neat about this, is this whole setup doesn't use a whole lot of space or weight, so you could easily just put this in your car and go to the park, you know, not bother anybody. It doesn't smell, it's not loud. You know, I was going to the farmer's market the other day, and you know, it's so nice, people are selling vegetables and herbs and it's gorgeous, and then some person had a refrigerator and they had this generator and it was so loud. People were playing music, and I was just thinking, like, this does not belong here. It just kind of destroyed the experience having this huge loud generator, where you could easily have had a solar generator and some solar panels and you could have powered that fridge without any issues. Okay, time is up. We're at 196. So let's shut this off. Getting 96 watts coming in. Let's see if we need to adjust our solar panels a little bit. A little shade right there and a little shade right there. That's one thing when you are you know, using solar panels like this, you do have to move them around to make sure that, oh, that bumped it up a little bit, so 117 watts. Oh, that's actually better. 118, maybe the angle was a little better. So as an answer to the question, can you cook chicken in one of these? The answer is yes. I would cook any kind of meat, chicken, you know, fish in this manner, where you kind of create a stew, soup situation, so you have that kind of moisture. And I would say my spoon is working quite nicely as well. This is the first time I'm actually using it. You can have a piece, come on. Another feature of this unit that I want to test here is this powerlifting mode. Start. So 94 watts coming in, we're at 48%. So if I wanted to cook another batch of chicken, I could do that. But what I'm curious about is if I can make some tea. So this guy apparently has like a power overriding mode that you set in the app, where you can power devices that normally would draw more watts. So something like a water kettle would normally like use a lot more, so this would like shut it down. You wouldn't be able to use this to power this, but apparently you should be able to set it so that you could. It's not going to draw more than 300, it's going to limit that. Okay, so yeah, we're 94 watts coming in. I'm going to go into the settings and I'm going to do power lifting. So suitable for powering 1200 watt max heating devices. Start. Oh, it's only drawing 241 watts. That's actually not bad. Huh. I was thinking that it was going to draw a lot more. It's like this makes me want to actually put all this in a bag and go hiking. And of course somebody's going to say, you know, why would you do that? You could just use a little gas heater. And I guess I could, but it's just kind of the fun of it. I really do love the idea of all these different like kind of electrical little devices that you can use, that you can charge up. Specifically because it's just renewable. That's what I like the most, that you can be self-sufficient with your stuff. If you have your solar panels, like, you don't need anything. It's free, you know? Once you have the stuff, it's free. I think that's why I like the idea of the electric car so much. Like currently, we're not actually using the sun to power the car, because it's a 24K kilowatt hour battery, which is one of the smaller batteries. But that still means that you are bringing that much electricity out. That's a lot of electricity to bring out. So you need more solar panels, and you need a 240 volt system as well to bring that out. But that's what I really want. And even though, I mean, electricity, especially right here where we live now, is quite cheap. It's going up, but if you compare to other places in the world, it's cheap. But the ultimate would really be to charge up the car using the solar. I must say, I was a little bit doubtful whether this chicken stew would be good, especially since there's no browning involved, but it's really good. Kind of see the steam coming out. I would say I boiled maybe 3/4 of a cup of water, and that took 14 minutes. So it's not exactly fast, but it's doable. So I'm gonna shut it off, the powerlifting now, and I'm actually just curious, will this accept this without the powerlifting? So let's see how, oh, see, now it's drawing 637, 638 watts. and overload. It went overload. Huh. So with the powerlifting on, it capped it at like 240. That's how much it drew. But if I took it off, it wouldn't do it. That's interesting. So this one apparently should be able to charge from 0 to 80% in like 20 minutes. So currently I'm at 30%. I can plug my laptop in here, do some editing of this footage that I just took. Charging. We're not up to 92 watts of charging. Okay, turn the DC on. I want to drain down the battery. Let's boil some more water. See, it's funny, I couldn't see this outside before, so it's flickering the light because it really wants more energy, but it's still operating. Oh, that's the fan coming on. First time I'm hearing the fan, actually. Because I was thinking about that, how quiet is this? How I haven't heard it yet. It just shut off, so we're at 0%. And there's a battery warning right there. So bringing it down to 0% is something I did here just to test the unit. Not really a good idea in general for the life of the battery, so don't do that. So I've been having a lot of fun with this one. This is the Bluetti EB3A. So it's a brand new product. It just came out. I'll put a link in the description to it. And there's a couple of things that I find rather appealing about it. Like, you know, little things. Like there's no power brick in the cord when you are charging it up. The power brick is inside. It charges up really fast. It has the turbo mode to charge up even faster. It has that power overriding mode, which I think is a really neat feature. I've never seen that before in any other solar generator, so that you can, you know, use something that draws more power. And you know, they can do that partly because it has that larger inverter. Have a smaller battery and larger inverter, so you can have more flexibility. And it stays nice and light. And the other thing I really like is the app is actually useful. You can actually use the app to control the unit. It works really well. So anyway, make sure to check out the link in the description below. I'll also put a link to a version of the electric lunchbox that I was using. Not sure if they have exactly the same one. They're all kind of similar. But anyway, this was a lot of fun. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below, and I'll see you soon. Bye!